Hey everybody, we're finally here, ready to start with back one of the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 Lego build, and I'm excited to start that with you guys today. So I've got the two bags, very noisy bags here, that we're going to do today, both labeled bag one. But before we get to that, I promised before that we were going to include minifigures with this set that doesn't have minifigures. So I'm going to show off each build session. I'm going to show off one of the custom minifigures that I've made over the years. Alright, so the first minifigure we're going to have for our series is going to be Dr. Peter Venkman in street clothes. To build this figure, I used the hair from the Ghostbusters Firehouse set for Peter. I also used the head from the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, the set that previously released. He's just got standard reddish brown legs or pants here, and then the torso is from a Bilbo Baggins minifigure from Lord of the Rings. This minifigure was inspired by the first Ghostbusters movie. Peter wore a brown suit when he went to pick up Dana, and then wore it all the way through until they talked to the mayor before the saving the day scene. So if you'd like to build one like this, I'll put the instructions or the number codes in the description of this video, and then you can go to Bricklink and you can build one like this if you would like. Now let's move on to the Ecto-1 build. Alright, so here we are, ready to go. I've got the parts already lined up, nulled out a little bit. Wanted to be organized before I actually started this part of the video, so you didn't have to watch me go through the bags and dig through things. So we're going to go ahead and open it up and start with step one. Like I said, this is bag one. I've got Peter hanging out here with us. I'll scoot him over a little bit so I have some build room. Doing something a little different here with the angle so that you can see me, and then I'll also hopefully see kind of the scale and scope of the parts that are here. Obviously you're not going to be able to see close up. I'm just videoing this with my camera, so we'll do the best we can here. I'll try to talk loud so that you can hear me, because I'm a little bit farther away than I usually am for these videos. And if you are having any trouble, be sure you put that in the comments and let me know if you're having trouble hearing me. And I'll try to talk louder in subsequent videos. Also, my wife and kids are home, dog's home. There's going to be some background noise. I'm going to be doing this without cutting the video, just for the nature of it. You want it to be, the progress of the build. So unless something out of the ordinary happens and I have to get up and leave, then I'm just going to sit here and then we're going to plow through any background noise or anything else that might come up. So as we are building here, I'll just kind of chit chat and talk with you guys and see how things are going. If I can concentrate that much, it might be more of a struggle than I think to be able to build and also carry on a conversation with you, the viewer. So, very excited when this set was announced, and just really surprised on how quickly the turnaround was from the time that they announced it until we actually had it in stores, in production, and ready to be sold. Obviously, I didn't get mine until just now for Christmas, but it was available a month ago, more than that. So, kind of late to the party on this, I get that. And that's why I want to kind of do mine as kind of a different, more personal kind of build with you guys. Hopefully you find it interesting. It's something that you'll want to continue to watch the other videos as we go along, or if you just want to check out the first few minutes of each of the videos to see what minifigure I'll be having there to feature. I'm going to have a new one for each build that I do. So we're putting these tiny little blue pins, one each way, into this white 1x2 Technic piece. There's going to be a lot of Technic pieces, especially in the base of this build. Actually, I've already done one wrong. Let me pop that one out real quick, because I'm supposed to put that pin in here and then the other one goes in here. So already a good example of the difficulty we may have here with me trying to build and carry on conversation with you guys. There we go. So that's step 5. We've got a nice, what is this, a 6x6 flat tile piece here. Found a 1x6 plate. So if you've been following the channel, you know that obviously I'm into Ghostbusters, but I've also been into Lego for probably just around the same amount of time. Started building with Lego when I was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, and like many of you, maybe there was a time where I kind of got away from it, and then when kids started coming back home, you know, I started having my own kids, then hey, then it's acceptable to buy Lego again or get excited about Lego again. Really, when they started building or offering up the theme sets, the licensed themes, I think that brought a lot of us that are in our 30s back. No offense to like the Lego City sets and people that enjoy building those, but when they started bringing in Lego Batman and Star Wars, I know that brought a lot of older teenagers and people in their 20s and 30s into buying Lego again and enjoying that build and process again. So I'm excited that Ghostbusters is now, again, for at least this part of it, included in it, and they're getting really good sets. The first Lego Ideas Ecto-1 set, I ended up getting 2 of those so that I could build one of them as pretty much as shown in the instructions in that set, and then I made another one that was a Ecto-1A. I say I made it, but I just basically followed someone else's changes for the most part that they had made online to make the Ecto-1A, and you know, noticed a few little difference with some screen grabs and stuff from watching Ghostbusters 2, so that I could kind of make it my own and make, you know, perfect some of the things that I didn't like from the builder that I followed. Maybe in one video coming up, I'll pop that down in front of us here, or feature that Ecto-1A build. But then the Firehouse came out, and again, that was a very detailed and awesome build. I really enjoyed having that one. Though there were some things that I wanted to correct on it as well. The back of that Firehouse was kind of not intended to be seen, let's say it that way. And so I really didn't like the way it looked. I wanted it to look good from all 4 sides. So I ended up moving the back wall on the interior of the building forward 1 stud and rebuilding the exterior back wall with the brick colored set, or the brick colored bricks so that it would look, you know, the same all the way around, and it would look decent on that back side. So again, maybe I'll show that off in a future video. This is going to be a really long first build here. Obviously, you know, from seeing pictures of the car, it's going to be a big one, but starting to kind of get an idea of the scope of it here. Alright, we're on to step 11 already. So I'm not going to rush through these videos, I'm just going to kind of take my time, and we'll just go through it and take the time that it takes to do it. If it happens to be done quickly, great. If it, you know, takes half an hour to do that set for the day, or for that session, then that's what it takes. And that's okay. So Lego is not something that has to be rushed. If they wanted us to have this all complete straight out of the box, it wouldn't be Lego. You know, you're supposed to take the time to build and to enjoy the build. So there we go, I believe that's correct. And that's going to go in the last hole here in this Technic brick. My son, for Christmas, he got 2 Lego Technic sets that he had asked for. And he's about 8.5 years old. So those being his first Technic sets were kind of challenging, getting some of the pins and the holes. So I got to help him with some of those. But it's amazing the things that they can design and build now with the Technic pieces. There were no bricks, there were no tiles, there were no plates other than some lights. 1 by 1 little circular transparent, not studs, but tiles. There was like 3 of those on the bottom of it for lights for this one helicopter build that he had. And it was, I mean, it's crazy how they can take all these pins and other pieces and just boom, it's a very recognizable, usable, working pieces moving helicopter. It's nuts. Alright, so this is building the back side of this car, and for this part, let me make sure I got it lined up right. I don't think it's possible to do it wrong because that yellow part right there has to fit just right in there. So these long blue pins are going to stick out some on the back. This could be the challenge sometimes, is getting all these pins not only lined up, but started and in close to the same time. So they're not getting bound up. There we go. Get them all snapped in there. Alright. So now we're going to start getting to some of these rods. So I've gotten, as I've been building with my kids over the years, to where I do find it very helpful to lay out the parts, even as maybe they, you know, dump open the bags and start building. As they're going through step 1, 2, 3, or whatever, they start going through the very beginning of it. I'm not even helping, I'm not even handing them parts, I'm starting to organize and move things around by color, by shape. And it really makes the builds go a lot more smoothly. And there's a lot less digging around trying to figure out where that one little piece is. There's always one little piece that's not where it's supposed to be. Whoop. So technically this isn't a Technic set, but it does have some gears in here, a lot of the pins and the rods, because it does have working moving parts in it. So we already know we're going to get the gunner seat. We've got the trap door in the back that's going to pop open later on. And the part on the top that will turn the steering wheels. I believe that's what we're building now, is part of this steering functionality. So let me do that the right way, because that's backwards. So I believe this is the front wheels, and it's got there a couple of gears on there that I'm sure will be to help move the steering back and forth. So that's step 13, we're on to 14. So far it's moving pretty smoothly. We're gonna have two of these. There's a lot of these long blue pins. The helicopter we built last night too for my son, it had a ton of these long blue pins. I'd never seen that many in one set before. So, I hope you liked the Peter Venkman minifigure that I built there. If you missed my preview video, I wanted to make a point to say that this is not the only way that you can make a Peter Venkman in street clothes. And by no means am I saying my way is the best way or the only way. I'm just saying, out of the parts that I had, or the parts that I was able to source out, this is the way that I wanted to build a Peter Venkman minifigure. I wanted to be able to have them around the interior of the Firehouse build when that came out, and not always in their flight suits. And so not only did I have Peter, but I had the other three main Ghostbusters as well. We kind of came up with different street clothes looks for each of them. So they'll be featured in future videos as well. I just decided to start off with Peter for today's build. I actually didn't have that Bilbo Baggins torso. That one, I believe I did either go to a local Lego store or Bricklink to pick that one up, because that disheveled look is what I kind of wanted to replicate, because like I said, not only did he arrive in his suit to pick up Dana for what he thought was going to be a date that night, but he ended up wearing it for multiple scenes, and then by the time they got to the mayor's office, he was out of jail and sweaty looking, and I gotta make sure I get these in the right places. So this goes here. I didn't turn around the right way. Let's do that and do it correct. But yeah, so I wanted his suit not to look like a nice, clean, pressed suit. I was able to find that one with some wrinkles in it, and kind of looked like it had been worn. So that's why I went with that one. I'm actually not a Lord of the Rings fan. Not something I've ever really watched, but I was happy they had a minifigure that kind of fit my needs, something that I wanted to have. So we're getting into a lot of these plates now, so this will probably start wrapping things up pretty quick here once we start getting these plates on here. So I got one big great one here. So I'm going to start with this one. If you've got a character request, somebody that you think maybe I have that character built as a minifigure, you can put that in the comments and maybe I'll fast track that into a future video. I've kind of already got an idea of who I'm going to share with you guys, but the order is not going, it hasn't been planned out yet. So if you want to put in a request for one, then that may be considered as I continue the series. So one thing I've always been bummed with the Lego sets that we've gotten, and we've always gotten decent minifigures with them as well for the Ghostbusters sets, we never got Gozer. We got Dana and Lewis in their, you know, switch them to their, at least switch Lewis to his possessed form. And so we got Vince Clortho and Zool, but we've never had a licensed Gozer minifigure. Even with the Dimension sets, they gave us the Terror Dogs, which is great. I'm glad they did. But we never got the final boss from the first movie in any of their sets. So, you know, they always go through all the details and minifigures and random ones for like the Star Wars sets and stuff. I just really wish they would have finished that out with the Ghostbusters set and given us our main villain from at least from the first movie. So maybe down the line, I'm curious what else they'll put out for Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm hoping we'll get more minifigure scale sets. I'm super excited about this, you know, larger scale UCS set, but I'd also like to have some Afterlife sets that are in the same scale as the Firehouse and the other Ecto-1 that has already come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So hopefully closer to when the movie is scheduled to be released this summer, we'll get some announcements on some more Ghostbusters sets. So I don't want to sound spoiled or, you know, upset that, you know, hey, I just got an awesome set here. Where's more? You know, I'm excited about what we have, but, you know, wanted to let Lego know that keep them coming. We'll keep buying them. This is a fandom that will pay for the things that they like. I'll say that much. This is a very large gear. It goes through there. And clips right on the front. Alright, so I'm going to look at it and I'm going to tell you right now as things stand. I was guessing this was the front axle area, but now I'm starting to think that maybe this is, because this looks more like something that'll be attached to the steering. It's really hard to tell. It's flipped it back and forth a couple of times on me here, and obviously it's going to continue to get longer, maybe a little bit wider too. So we get some of these little wishbone pieces here. Skip the page. Alright, there we go. Step 21. Last yellow rod. Connector there, and that's going to go all the way through to the other connector. Alright, that works. Alright, now we're going to get into the suspension. Hard to say, especially when you have braces. So I got about, hopefully, less than 12 months left braces. I got these around Halloween 2019. Just something I decided that I wanted as a adult to be able to straighten up my smile a little bit. So maybe you've noticed them in previous videos, or how it's affected my speech here and there. So hopefully once I get my braces all taken care of and we're all done with that, we won't be wearing masks anymore and people can actually see my smiling new chompers in public. Alright, I'm going to pay better attention to this because it shows that this needs to be facing a certain way. So, with the little cup shaped up, not down, I'm supposed to put those in there. So this is going to be, I'm going to just do it the other way because I did it backwards. But it'll be okay if I just mirror it on this side. So another pin. The back. On this side. So yeah. I did step 22 through 24 backwards, but it's going to work out okay. Looks like it pushed through. Well, you know what? Put it through the wrong side after all that. I was saying everything was going to be okay, and then I did it backwards anyway. Alright. So, cup side up. Pin on this side. There we go. Maybe. One more bump. There we go. We're clicked in. Alright, finally, step 24. We're all set. 2 more long blue ones. You know what? They were supposed to go in that hole. I put them through that hole. But it's still going to be okay. You know what? No, it's not. So, this is the fun part where I don't cut my video and you get to see me make mistakes. And you can laugh at me if you want. That's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But I'm going to pull these out and restart. So, the challenge of talking with you guys and looking at instructions and building correctly has reared its head. So, these have 5 holes. I put them through 1 and 5. They needed to go through 2 and 4. This has a cup on it that is not on the opposite side. The cup has to be up. So, I'm taking a pen and I'm putting it in the second hole this time. And that will go, actually it does go through hole 1. But hole 1 is lined up behind hole 2 on this one. Finally, we're going to do it right this time. Cup side up. Second hole here. Hole 5 in the light bluish gray. Now we're in step 24 and we're correct. Because these pins go through the opposite side over here. These are things I would never be able to figure out on my own. Hats off to the Lego designers. Everybody thinks, oh, it'd be fun to be a Lego designer, make your own sets, and there's a lot of intricate things that they have to figure out. We kind of look at the finished side of things and think, oh yeah, I could do that, I could make something that cool. But the parts with the gearing and where all the pins have to go to make everything work and make everything fit into a space that doesn't have a ton of room. You know, they have my respect for being able to do the math, and I'm sure there's a lot of computer program usage to make sure that stuff fits. But man, a lot of these, especially these UCS sets, these Technic sets, there's a lot that goes into them. Let me make sure I get this lined up good. All right, one there. Okie doke. Blue one here. Probably our last two blue pen or black pens. Usually they do give us extras, and at the end of each video I will show you which extras are left. Not that I think you will think it's interesting, but I usually find it interesting what they give us extra. Usually it's the 1x1s, plates and tiles, any just colored studs. They usually give you one extra. Sometimes the smaller pins, you'll get an extra of those. I find that interesting. Sometimes you'll get things you didn't expect to get as an extra. Okie doke. We're on step 30. So this actually snaps into that cup. Wow, I didn't even know that these kinds of pieces existed. So we got two of these on each side. Probably the last yellow bushing here. Snap on the other side. That is crazy. A little ball joint that just fits right in there. Alright, so we're going to take that with the blue side pins facing out, and this clips onto our base here. And so this is still just bag one, but if this is where our front wheels are, it's going to go, you know, this is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I'm excited to just see the scope of it when it is finished, just in person. I haven't seen one of these built in person yet. I didn't pick this up at the store. Ended up having, just ordering it online, having it shipped to the house, so I didn't actually see one. Usually if you go to the Lego store, they'll have some that are built like in the little window, display window, if it's something brand new. Make sure I did that right. Yep. And so I haven't seen one of these in person yet. All I've seen is the video reviews that people have done on these on YouTube. So where did this connect? So it looks like these click on here. What in the world is happening? Okay, so I'm gonna hold these two up. Sorry for the dog barking in the background. My dog's name is Winston. He's a year old. We did name him after the Ghostbuster, yes. We don't know exactly what his birthday was, but we decided we would say, we knew it was late December, so we assigned December 24th to be his birthday. So he just had his first birthday. And got the doggy type things you would expect to get. Treats and bones and whatnot. Okay, this one's upside down. Got a little golden rod here going through. Alright, step 33, so I'm going to do that on the other side as well. It's going through hole 1 in the dark bluish gray, hole 2 and 4 on the light bluish gray on the inside. We've got 2 small blue pins on the yellow sections there, and then we're folding these upward like that. Okie doke. So these pins are going to connect in the light bluish gray brick here, and they're going to fold down, connect all these ball joints on the ends. See, how do you design this? How do you figure that out? That is amazing. So I wonder if these guys have experience with actually building automobiles of some sort before they get to the point of making things like this, because you'd have to, right? I've never been a car guy that knew that really how to work on cars or anything like that. Then, so maybe if you're familiar with how suspensions are designed to begin with, this is just basic, but to me, I find it very interesting. Okay, maybe I'll push that off. There we go. All right, so we're nailing this to the base of the car pretty much with these long rods. That one in a lot easier. Look at that. So there's your steering. Amazing. All right, the last 2 of these blue rods. Pins, excuse me. I'm going to say the wrong thing a lot, so don't wear yourself out in the comments trying to correct me, because it's okay, not a big deal. That was the end of step 34, and then the next step is 35 with bag 2. So what we've got left, we've got one of these 1x1, I don't even know what you'd call that, just cylinder piece, 1 yellow bushing, and then 1 each of the black and the light bluish gray pins. And that's all that's left. So, and the brick separator that comes with the set that came in the first bag. So, I'll end the video there, and I'll say thank you for watching. If you found this interesting, then please consider watching the next one as well. Again, I will have another minifigure to share with you guys, and I look forward to continuing this build, and then also being able to have time to share with you guys. So again, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video in the series.